who really comes to mind who I think is going to have a big year is senior tight end Austin Allen. I think he's due for a big time breakout type of year where you have all these other weapons like we're talking about, like an Omar Manning and a Samari Torre. Take your pick of 3 or 4 running backs that they're going to feature. I think that the tight end gets lost in all that. And I think Austin Allen's going to have like maybe a career year for a Nebraska tight end. I'm thinking he's going to catch 5 or 6 touchdowns and around 50 balls maybe. So that's what I'm looking at right there.
Austin Allen coming off junior season with 18 catches, 13 yards per catch, and a touchdown. And of course, there was only 8 games played.
And he's only 6'9". So he doesn't present a very big target.
That's pretty massive. He should
but
be
you
able
know what? He's going to
post up some people.
He's going to be an NFL draft pick.
19%. What that alludes to is only 2 FBS offenses last year had a larger percentage of drives and in turnovers, as Nebraska lost 9 fumbles, was intercepted 9 times across 95 offensive possessions.
Who was worse?
Got to clean that up.
Who was worse?
2 teams in the FBS out of 130.
Who?
Couldn't tell you. For 2 worse. I'm going to guess like Louisiana Monroe and Kansas. That would be my 2 guesses. They both went winless.
Yeah, they'd be pretty good guesses.
Maybe Vandy. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
So
2 of those 3.
They probably, if they could cut that in half, that would change a lot.
It makes a big difference.
Because unless you're turning the ball over at the 50-yard line, and that's not even a good thing, of course. It's never a good thing to turn the ball over. You're either squashing a scoring opportunity for yourself, because let's say you got it at the opponent's 25 or 30, or you're setting up the opponent for a score because you just turned it over at your own 20 or 25. So none of them are good.
How many times did we see Nebraska actually turn it over inside their own red zone, which really,
sure.
I mean, that it just doubles everything. It's been just such a myriad of errors, and you just have to hope that. I mean, obviously, we in the media ask about it all the time. How do you fix it? How do you fix it? I don't know. I guess if there was some kind of magical fix, it would happen, but I think that you just concentrate on it, and now that you have a guy at the helm that is now, I mean, he's always been a grown-ass man, but he is now graduated college and basically is interviewing for his next job this year. So I think you see a marked improvement in that, and with Coach Verdisco and Coach Frost there, they have a lot of quarterbacking experience, coaching experience between the 2 of them, and I expect to see different things this year.
When we put together the 3 numbers that I'm going to read, I already gave you the first one. It's going to be a wonder that they won 3 games.
Really? Yeah.
They went 3 and 5.
Yeah.
Because when you turn over the football more than any team in the country, except for 2 teams out of 130, that's number 1. Put it together with this stat. Defensively, the Huskers recovered 2 fumbles and intercepted opposing quarterbacks 5 times across 566 snaps. The Nebraska defense averaged 81 plays between takeaways, 3rd worst in the Big Ten, number 114 in the nation. Number 114. Out of 130.
Or 130. Yeah.
So number 114 on defense and number 127 on offense.
Yeah.
Now, how they went 3 and 5, they must have played well at the line of scrimmage and pushed people around with that kind of turnover rate on both sides of the ball. So follow me here. There's a level of turnover rate that's luck. not most of it, but there's a pretty sizable part that's luck. You can fumble 10 times and you may recover 7, you may recover 3, you may recover, and sure, there's fighting for the ball, there's being alert, there's all those things that factor in, but some of it's luck. The ball just bounces wherever it does, and there's a dude not even close to the play, and there's deflected passes intercepted. So there's been studies done to show, okay, a slice of that's luck, turnovers. So you got to think just by sheer luck that they're going to do better than 114 and 127 in the country in turnover rate.
You have to. You absolutely have to. And, when you crunch those numbers, I think something that's really funny that comes to mind is that, we've been asked on our Husker Online radio show and on our message boards about over under how many turnovers is a defense going to get compared to sacks. And we've all kind of agreed that turnovers is more than sacks.
Sure.
So, yeah, you got to – a lot of it comes with pass rushing there on the defense to get some more of it. But you just can't put the defense in those kind of situations where we saw so many times last season when the first play of the game, Luke McCaffrey throws a stupid interception right into the hands of an Illinois defender. Adrian Martinez is dropping the ball. There's so many times that a lot of those I would probably, just off the top of my head, venture to say 60% of those turnovers were on Nebraska's side of the field. At least 60%. So you were always putting your defense into a hole. And, they came through. They were one of the top defenses out there as far as holding teams back and keeping their offense in the game. So, yeah, something's got to give. And I think it all comes down to the offense. And you're not putting the defense into those stupid situations where they don't have any choice, but they got their backs pinned up against the wall, and actually give them a chance to go a 3 and out and get off the field on the opponent's side of the field.
So you're turning the ball over more than almost everyone in the country. You're not getting turnovers as much as almost anyone in the country, and then put that together with this stat. And again, I'm amazed they went 3 and 5. Nebraska attempted 245 passes last year. They connected for a gain of 30 yards or more 4 times in 245 passes.
Yep.
That is number 121 in the country and number 13 in the Big Ten. So you don't hit for explosive plays. You turn the ball over and you don't get turnovers. It's a wonder. And so this is the only thing that this tells me too. Maybe I'm stretching this, is that they dominated. Dominate might be a bit of a stretch, but outplayed. They had to have outplayed their opponent at the line of scrimmage.
Physically, yes.
They must have won most of the plays up front because they didn't get big plays at all.
Yeah.
So, okay,
outside of the Ohio State game.
Yeah.
Those are toss-ups.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the next thing I was going to go to.
Yeah.
Forget the Ohio State game.
Right.
They're the second best team in the country. Okay. And it was closer than 52-17. Anybody that watched that on either side of the ball, Ohio State fan or Nebraska fan, there's no doubt it was a competitive game. It was like a 24-17 game in the third quarter.
Yeah.
Okay. They lost to Northwestern, who was a top 10 team in the country, went to the Big Ten championship game.
Dogfight every time those two teams play.
One possession.
Yeah. Always is a one possession.
Yeah. Penn State. Sure, they had an off season, but they're probably one of the 15 or 20 most talented teams in the country.
Yeah.
You beat them by a touchdown. The Illinois game, that was the clunker of the season. Iowa, top 15 team in the country. We know what happened. They had the ball inside the 50. for the winning score on the last drive of the game. Adrian Martinez gets blindsided. They lose by 6.
Who wanted that game more, Iowa or Nebraska? Iowa.
Yeah. Well, they still only lost by a score.
Yep.
They beat Purdue by 10. They lost to Minnesota by 1 score, touchdown. They beat Rutgers.
Yeah.
Can clean up these turnovers.
It's a different ball game. Yeah. Obviously, you've got talent, and like we said, all that defensive experience is coming back. And the one question mark that you had was that one corner spot, and you just bring in a 5-star former Ohio State guy to throw in the mix. And you know what? It looks rosy, especially on the defense side, because we already know they're a good defense. And like we've just been saying the whole night, it comes down to turnovers, because we know that the offense can move the ball. They didn't have any kind of problems moving the ball at all last year in losing 5 games. But it's those turnovers that have always been that plague. And then horrible special teams have also contributed to a lot of that. And you clean up those two things, and yeah, that number kind of flips around, in my opinion, that win-loss record.